Hi everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we've got a jam-packed show. As you can imagine, Bitcoin price has gone through the 200-day moving average, a simple moving average. Plus we've got loads of news story headlines to get through, plus I want to talk to you guys as well. Okay, let's crack on. This is going to be jam-packed and we will see where we are just now. It's going to be a wee bit slow this morning. I've got loads of kind of tabs open as I was doing the research. So it's probably going to be a wee bit slow this morning. And Brave is acting up just now. I don't know why. I love the Brave browser, but it's kind of acting up, and it has been for the past couple of days. So it's slower than normal. We have an overall market capitalization of 247 billion. Bitcoin Dawn has gone back up to 66.1%, as you'd expect with the price going up as well. We'll see who the winners and losers are in the top 100. Cardano is up 16%, which is fantastic to see. I think that's jumped up to about 570, 580 Satoshi. We recommended that at the beginning of this week in the premium group, and that's gone up a good 16% today alone. Nexo is up 13.98%, which is good to see as well. Synthetics Network, Ethereum Classic is up, Swipe, Rith, EOS Hedge, V-Systems is up as well. A couple of double-digit greens there, as we said, Nexo and Cardano, which is great to see. Who's the losers? We have Centrality, they're not down by that much, but Centrality, Bitcoin, the biggest ones, ABC, IXEC, RLC. I expect that to go back up. I'm expecting big things from RLC. Nervous Network is up, Icon, Dash, Molecular Future down as well. Not by that much. We've got in the red probably about 25%, 75% in the green. Satoshi value will be a totally different story because the Bitcoin price has gone up. So we have in the green about 20%. And 80% in the red in Satoshi value, as you'd expect, people going into Bitcoin at the moment. Okay, look at the news, crypto headlines. Bitcoin highlighted as Lebanese banks on brink of insolvency. So this is another kind of country. I'm not going to talk about kind of Bitcoin here, but this is another country. We're seeing this all over the world as well, and I thought it's kind of important to highlight it. So this is another failed financial system. The root cause of the troubles in Lebanon began with mounting debt and then the sudden disappearance of Prime Minister Hariri, who emerged in Saudi Arabia, announced his resignation. Bank deposits plummeted and interest rates spiked. This is similar to kind of what's happened in Venezuela as well. Already heavily indebted to the US, they tried to bolster their dollar reserves by highly subsidizing USD deposits. Cryptocurrency investor Andrew Kang, a thread on Twitter, explained the ultimate effect of these policies. So Andrew Kang has got a lot of kind of details on this kind of Lebanese financial system kind of just going to pot at the moment. They're talking about it from a Bitcoin point of view, but they're really offering advice in this as well. But it's just to highlight the kind of financial system failing, probably because of governments and probably because of what's happening with the politicians and how they kind of manage it as well. So it's not because of cash per se. It's because of what the governments are doing and their kind of schemes as well. So this was Andrew Kang as well. But as bank loans continue to be paid down, the demand for bankers' checks decreases, further increase the cash premium bank account. Some people convert acquired cash to Bitcoin USDT in order to move capital overseas, many of them using the crypto to buy property in the UAE. There are increasingly more WhatsApp groups dedicated to this OTC activity. So more and more people are going to be buying BTC in order to move their money overseas as well. But I'm going to link to this as well. This is a really good article actually, and Andrew Kang has done a really good piece on that on Twitter as well. So check that out. I'm going to put the link up. Iran gives out over 1,000 crypto mining licenses. Again, this could be quite significant. Iran's Ministry of Finance has apparently given out over 1,000 licenses to mine cryptocurrency. This follows the legalization of crypto mining in Iran in June 2019. The reason the Iranian government has decided to hand out licenses to crypto miners is that previously miners were capitalizing on subsidized electricity in the country, increasing nationwide energy consumption by 7%, which put pressure on the national electricity grid. So now crypto miners in Iran are charged special rates that are higher than the cost of electricity for other Iranians. Generally, the rate is 11 cents per kilowatt, but in peak season during the summer, the rate for crypto miners can jump as high as 46 cents per kilowatt. So they're giving out these licenses knowing that the cost of electricity is going to be higher for these miners Is it going to be worth it? That's the thing as well. But they've given out the licenses, which is good for Bitcoin as a whole. And this Launchpad could send Bitcoin on a massive parabolic rally. So this is Cole Peterson. He's kind of looking at some news. And further adding to a notion is the fact that Bitcoin is currently sitting on a key technical level that could act as a launching pad for its near-term price action, potentially catalysing the next major rally. And we're going to be looking at that in a sec. In the near term, the key resistance levels that analysts are keen on seeing Bitcoin react to is existing 9,000 and 9,200, which is around the cryptocurrency's local highs that were set last week. One factor should be considered in the near term is the fact that Bitcoin's monthly Bollinger Band is currently serving as a launchpad for the crypto, as noted by Polar Hunt and crypto analyst on Twitter. So this is the Bollinger Band that we're talking about. Monthly middle Bollinger Band is Bitcoin's launching pad. So I'm going to show you something else after this as well and do a bit of technical analysis. So this is a monthly middle of the road kind of for the Bollinger Band. You don't see the Bollinger Bands there, but this is the middle part of it. And once it's crossed over there, it usually kind of acts as a launching pad. We've seen it crossing over here already. So I don't know why they're getting their knickers in a twist about that, but they're saying that as a launching pad there. Now is a good time to go into Bitcoin technical analysis just now and just look at Bitcoin at the moment and see what's happening here. Okay, so we're down to $8,960. Has pulled back a wee bit. So I've showed you this chart many times. I'm going to keep this chart in as well. This is on the daily for Bitcoin USD and Bitstamp. We're holding support on this line. This was previously the resistance line of this kind of downward channel here that we had on Bitcoin. It broke out of that and it's using this line as support, which is good. We want to see that. And we're also holding this as long-term support line as well. For the last 7 years, this line going up here is long-term support. The red lines here are extrapolating information from 2017 to 2015 to 2017 and seeing the parabolic rise and looking at that, see if history is going to repeat itself. You can see this red line here. History is kind of repeating itself here. It's gone up to 9,054. So expected to stay around about there for this coming week. Next week, 9,500. Next again week, 10,236. But importantly as well, I'm going to turn off the EMAs. I've got this purple line here. This is a 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average. We pushed above that. If we can stay above that on the daily, I think that bodes well. That's an extremely bullish sign for Bitcoin. Now we're going to go back in history and kind of look at the 200-day moving average. And we're seeing it kind of pushed up here at 8,900 and pushed up to the upper kind of resistance level of this descending channel here, up to 10,300 before coming back down. Now it's trying it again to push over. Historically, once we pushed over that line, 2nd of April was the last time in 2019, it kind of went up, I was going to say, it went up about 100 and 200%. It went up when it crossed over there. It did cross over here, but it kind of looked like a false breakout there and came back down again. It's starting to cross over here again on the 200 MA. Again, historically, when we've seen it kind of coming down here, we've seen it coming down quite big as well. I think 2015 will be the time previous to that that's crossed over the 200. Yeah. So yeah, October 2015 at $250, and it went all the way up to $20,000 there as well. So the crossover went up 200% just before the halving as well. So you can see the crossover here. It kind of went up, and just before the halving, probably about a month before it, it went up 200% from its crossover. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? If it went up 200% from here, we're talking 24,000. I don't think that's going to happen before the crossover and before the halving. Sorry, I'm not saying the crossover, but it's the halving of the kind of Bitcoin hash rate. So we could expect to see around about 13, I think, before the halving happens in May 2020. So we'll see what happens there. But 8,900, round about the 9,000 mark just now. So I'd say 9,000 is a key level. It's a key psychological level for Bitcoin. I kind of really have to hold that. So that is a key psychological level. And the 200-day moving average is one to look out for as well. If we can hold above that, that's a really bullish sign for Bitcoin as well, to keep on moving up. Should we fall below that, obviously we're coming down, but we want to keep the support here, and the support would be round about 8,000 going down to 7,700. So that's it for Bitcoin technical analysis there, a bit of a quick technical analysis there. Okay, go back to the news. Bitcoin Cash miners threaten to fork unless funding proposal withdrawn. I think this is just the crash of Bitcoin Cash. It's just a thing. The Bitcoin forks are just going to kind of disappear. That's what I kind of think is going to happen. We've seen Bitcoin Gold 51% attacked, but still managing to go up 25%. It's kind of a joke to me. Bitcoin Cash, possibly Bitcoin Cash miners have left with a bitter taste in their mouths. Have been left with a bitter taste in their mouths after BTC top CEO Jiang Zhu published his proposal to direct 12.5% of mining rewards to support the BCH infrastructure over the next 6 months. In response, anonymous North American and European miners have announced the formation of an opposing mining group. The group stated that it would be launching a competing BCH pool to offer a voice to miners that disagree with the proposal and to donate 1% of our income to development teams. So what they're saying is, we want to preface this by saying that we are empathic with protocol developers' lack of funding. We are not opposing having developers for the work appropriately, and that is imperative that this issue gets fixed for the long term. So Bitcoin Cash, there's some kind of problems there with Bitcoin Cash at the moment. This is Deutsche Bank as well. A digital currency could see widespread adoption within the next few years, a new report by Deutsche Bank suggests. So this was published on Monday. The Deutsche Bank report said digital currencies, while only a decade old, have been shown to have the potential to radically change payments, banking, central banking, and the balance of economic power. We believe a new digital currency could become mainstream within the next 2 years. According to the report, with both China's Digital Yuan and initiative and Facebook Libra project expected to launch this year, the report said that could make digital currencies available to more than 1.5 billion Chinese citizens and 2.5 billion Facebook users, combined more than half of the world's population. As current adoption rate, cryptocurrencies are running parallel to the internet during its early years. The report reads that should this continue, there could be more than 200 million blockchain wallets by 2030, up from 50 million in 2020. So this is from Deutsche Bank report. We've also got other reports as well saying it could unsettle kind of political system and the financial system as well. This is, again, we'll have to look at this as well. Don't be fooled, crypto market is still likely to see intense pullback. So we'll have to look at two sides of the coin here. Massive technical resistance could halt the market's growth. Because the future of aggregated crypto market hinges on where Bitcoin goes next, it's imperative to note that the crypto is currently pushing up against a key technical resistance level that could halt the ongoing trend. So this is from Dime, a popular Bitcoin advocate on Twitter, recently noted the BTC is pushing up against this 200-day moving average, which we've just looked at, which could mean that this will face a massive rejection at this level. So you've got well high there, 200 MA. Are we staying here long, or is this just a test? So I've just showed you the kind of 200-day moving average. A lot of traders are going to be looking at that 200-day moving average and see where it goes from there. So that could determine what happens, if it's going to continue with this bull run, or it could fall kind of drastically if it does fall below that and it doesn't kind of get supported. This is a story about local Bitcoin. It shuts down accounts in problematic countries, and it's not coming up just now. Yep, there we go. So some users can access Bitcoin Fund. This is for local Bitcoins. So Forbes reported on Saturday that users across at least 3 regions, including Asia, Africa and the Middle East, had noted their accounts to be deactivated. Local Bitcoin users in countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria and Nigeria received messages from the exchange operator that were telling them they could take out their Bitcoin holdings by deleting their account. However, some users said they weren't able to access their funds. So that doesn't bode well for local Bitcoins. As well, their volume has gone up in other countries as well, so I don't know what's going on here. We need to keep an eye on that. Financial advisors should allocate client funds to Bitcoin, executive says. So Rick Edelman, who also founded RIA Digital Assets Council, recommended financial advisors to invest from 1% to 2% of client funds in Bitcoin in the case where the client meets the following conditions. They understand blockchain, is okay with holding the asset for several years to mitigate against volatility risks, is ready to lose everything. Speaking at Inside ETF conference in Hollywood, Florida, the executive said, Bitcoin is worthy of consideration in your portfolios. What is the likelihood of sustained volatility in the future for Bitcoin? That's what we have to ask ourselves, and what many advisors haven't asked. So if a lot of these kind of advisors did kind of suggest that the clients go 1 or 2% into Bitcoin, Bitcoin would surge dramatically if that happened as well. So this is getting seen in kind of investors and kind of stages as well. Ethereum poised for 100% rally as 6 months of accumulation comes to an end. So as for the high, or how high the cryptocurrency could rally in the coming few weeks and months, Satoshi Flipper, a popular cryptocurrency analyst on Twitter with a track record of solid calls, explained in a tweet that he believes it could go as high as $340. So that's in line with what I was saying as well for the last few weeks and months. $300 for it. And while everyone is finally getting bullish on Ethereum, me and my followers have been buying since $131. Price today is $170. He noted while referencing a chart that shows his midterm upside target of approximately $340. So Bitcoin Jack, another crypto analyst, is kind of talking about the kind of ETH rally and what could make it rise 100%. The alt market versus BTC is looking more and more likely it will finally pop and confirm a 6 month of accumulation. Could be a cyclic move. That means having the right alts is something you should plan for. Many majors look primed, like Monero, ZEC, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Jack explained. So I think we've looked at Ethereum, we've looked at Litecoin. I think I'll put Neo in there, put Cardano in there, put XRP in there as well. Monero I've always kind of already looked at as well. But I think a lot of the bigger cryptocurrencies are going to pop as well 100% over the next, leading up to the Bitcoin halving, to be honest. Other pieces of news, I know going over slightly, but I think this is worth it. And this is what I was talking about earlier on from Deutsche Bank. Cryptocurrencies pose a threat to political and financial stability, says Deutsche Bank. That's not in a negative way. Basically, the report adds, in the midst of these changes, non-sovereign cryptocurrencies pose a threat to political and financial stability. But it's kind of bullish, just saying we need a change for what's happening just now. So Deutsche Bank's report claims cryptocurrencies are still in early adoption phase, but pose a threat given the current changes cash is undergoing. While the report says it's unlikely to disappear anytime soon, talking about cash, it notes it's losing ground as a payment method as several countries removed large notes from circulation and implemented policies to replace traditional payment methods with digital solutions. So talking about cash there. Thank you very much again. I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Last one out, please hit that like button if you like these videos. And until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.